Hello students, I am with you in the series of video lectures during lockdown. This lecture is for semester 4th and paper is 15th, that is research methodology. As you know, research methodology is a very important paper in your syllabus, and in that context you have to know some of the intricacies and details of statistical analysis. In that context, the fourth model, that is data collection and sampling, types of sampling, that you have to study. However, you have already know all about data collection. Now I am going to discuss sampling and sampling technique. As you know, statistics is the very basic essentialities of research, and whenever we talk about a research methodology, we can't proceed without the knowledge of a statistical analysis or statistical tools. Let us first know what is statistics is the study all about. As you know, statistics is the study of collection, tabulation, presentation, analysis and inference of the data. So, this very topic is very much associated with inferential part of statistics, and that is of utmost importance in the study of research methodology. Hello. Now, let us first define what is population and what is sampling. Before giving the notion of sampling, we will first define population. In a statistical investigation, the interest usually lies in the assessment of the general magnitude and the study of variations with respect to one or more characteristics relating to individuals belonging to a group, and this group of individuals under study is called population or universe. Thus, in statistics, population is an aggregate of objects, animate or inanimate, under study. Population may be finite or infinite. It is obvious that for any statistical investigation, complete enumeration of the population is rather impracticable. So, in sampling method, inquiry is based on a sample of individuals rather than on the entire population. The impracticality of a study of population is due to various reasons. That reasons may be due to higher cost, time factor, or another factors are there that lead to consideration of sampling rather than the study of population to have inference about the characteristics of the population under the study. A sample consists of only a fraction of the total population, that is individual units. In case of sampling, the magnitude of non-sampling error is very small. Cost of the survey is less, since different samples can be drawn giving different results, and that led to some difficulty that appears in way of sampling. The above said phenomena is usually described as sampling fluctuations or fluctuations due to sampling. In this slide, the parameter, estimator, estimate and sampling error, these are the frequently used term is defined here. Let us first know what is parameter. The population characteristic or the constant which we are estimating is called a parameter. In practice, parameter values are not known and their estimates based on the sample value are generally used. Since parameter is decided or discussed or referred only in case of total population. So, credit goes to R.A. Fisher, who distinguished parameter and statistic. Statistic is related with a study of sample, and on the basis of that sample or statistic, that is the characteristics under study, we estimate the characteristics or the statistics for the whole population, and here the statistics, that is in case of sample, becomes parameter. So, parameter refers the characteristics of the whole population, while statistics is characteristics in case of sample. But to estimate or to find the exact value of parameter is quite difficult, especially in case of infinite population. Even in case of finite population, due to costly affair, time factor, there may be the case where the testing or study or quality analysis itself led to the destruction of the population itself, forbids us to go for the study of population. Rather than we concentrate over the study of sample, and through that sample we find or estimate the value of parameter. Second term, that is estimator. An estimator is defined as a function of sample values. Using sample data, we might obtain an estimate of the population parameter. The function of sample values simply implies the way the sample values are combined to obtain the estimate. This function of sample values is also called a statistic. Now, estimator and estimate. The estimator connotes the way sample values are combined. It is the procedure. So, estimator is the process or procedure, and or an estimate on the other hand means the numerical value of the estimator for a given sample. So, one refers to procedure, another refers to a value of estimator. The next term, that is sampling error. The discrepancy between a estimator or a statistics and the true parameter value is called sampling error. That is sampling error, and it is quite obvious in case of any sample there lies the sampling error. Sampling technique. The sample drawn from the population must be truly representative of the population, especially with regard to the characteristic under investigation. Otherwise, we will get biased estimates. Suppose there is the vast population under study. Let us take the case of the study of car used by the people of a city. In that case, here we have to study the use of car or vehicles by the individuals or by the population living in a city. In that case, if we take the sample from the area that is inhabited by the poor population, this is not the true representation for the characteristics under study, because here we have to study the people. Study is about people using the car, but we are taking the sample from the population in that poor population inhabited in poor areas. So, this sample will give the biased result. So, the very basic necessity of sampling is that it must be true representative of the population. Otherwise, the total result will falsify the situation, or the result will not be the true representative of the population. Second, there are several alternative ways of obtaining representative samples depending on the purpose of the inquiry. So, what is the characteristic of the population under study? For what purpose we are going to inquire all about the population, and from that population we have to take samples. There are various ways, but the first point that always in the mind of investigator should be that what is the purpose for all this collection of data or collection of sample. So, purpose always must be in the mind of investigator to go for choosing the sample. So, various ways are there for selecting the sample, that is known as sampling technique. Various sampling techniques are there. The first, random sampling. Second, stratified random sampling. Third, two-stage and multi-stage random sampling. Fourth, systematic random sampling. And last, that is purposive sampling. We will discuss all these techniques one by one in next slide. First, random sampling. It is purely scientific technique based on definite principles. So, word random sampling is rather misnomer. Here we are using random, but the technique lies here is quite scientific. So, it looks quite contrary to its word that is used here, that is random. So, random here not hazardous, but it is quite scientific or in a definite pattern. In this, it is guaranteed that every individual unit in the population gets an equal chance, that is probability of being selected. In this case, the sample units are selected at random, and the drawback of purposive sampling that we will study later on is, that is favoritism, subjective element is completely overcome. So, the second technique that I will discuss later on, that is purposive sampling. In purposive sampling, there may be the situation of favoritism or nepotism or subjective element lies there in selection of sample, but in case of random sampling we are free from all these errors. A random sample is one in which each unit of population has an equal chance of being included in it. Suppose we take a sample of size n from a finite population of size capital N. Suppose sample a small n and the population is capital N. So, in how many ways we can select the sample? That is quite mathematical. Here we use the formula of combination, that is NCN, capital N combination a small n, and that is defined as factorial capital N divided by factorial R into factorial factorial n minus factorial capital N minus a small n. So, a sampling technique is which each of the NCN sample has an equal chance of being selected is known as random sampling, and the sample obtained by this technique is termed as random sampling. Proper care must be taken to ensure that the selected sample is random. Human bias, which varies from individual to individual, it is quite inherent in any sampling scheme that is always administered by human beings. Fairly good random samples can be obtained by the use of Tippett's random number tables or by throwing a dice, draw or lottery. As in case of deciding the randomness, there may be the situation or the element of human biasness. For coming out of this, there are different ways of obtaining random sample. The first method to select the random sample is lottery method. Second, random sampling number, or it may be throwing the dice, etc., etc. Here the main point that should be focused, that the situation of randomness, that means probability of each individual to be selected, is always equal. To free ourselves from human biasness, there is a random sampling number table that is developed by Tippett. In this method, there is a table prepared by Tippett, and in which there are numbers that is quite randomized. We can take the help of that table in case of random sampling. The second method of sampling is stratified random sampling, that is stratified random sampling. This method of sampling is generally adopted when the population is heterogeneous. Here population is divided into homogeneous groups, that homogeneous groups known as strata, and in singular term stratum, and then draw random samples from within each stratum. Here it is assured that homogeneity in respect of characteristic under investigation within the stratum is there. So, stratified random sampling, the stratified random sampling is another technique, and in this technique the heterogeneous population is divided in best possible homogeneous groups on the basis of the characteristic under the study, and by homogenizing these population in different stratum, and then we take the sample from the homogenized stratum. This technique is used for the very vast population, and it is quite useful for the study of finite or infinite population. The third, that is two-stage or multi-stage random sampling. This method of sampling is frequently used in crop yielding analysis. Suppose we have to draw, or we have to collect we have to infer the idea about the productivity of a vast piece of land. So, it is quite difficult to collect the data or the available production from the whole area. It is rather easy to take the product from different smaller piece of land, and then after that through a statistical calculation we reach at the level of the decision of productivity of that vast area. So, this is also used in harvesting or crop yielding analysis. Another method, that is systematic random sampling. In a given locality, we might select one house at random and then select every 10th or 15th house systematically. This is called systematic random sampling. So, if we have to study about the houses lying in a city, so in that case we start from a point, and then after that we take the figure from the 10th or 15th house one after another, and that is in that way we collect the sample, and that is called systematic random sampling. The last, that is purposive sampling. In this there is the restriction. In this there is the restriction on the population to be selected, that is based on the purpose of the analysis. Therefore, it is called purposive sampling. However, in the very first part of the lecture, I have focused my attention on the purpose before going to have the sampling. Here, the method itself named purposive sampling. So, purposive sampling is one in which the sample units are selected with definite purpose in view. For example, if we want to give the picture of that the standard of living has increased in the city of New Delhi, we may take individuals in the sample from the rich and posh localities, not from the poor localities. Otherwise, it will lead to quite mistaken result. So, purposive sampling should be started having or totally focused in mind our purpose for which we are going to collect the sample. So, sampling technique in case of a research methodology, where we have to study a problem having impact on a very vast area or a very vast population, and in that context it is quite cumbersome, quite difficult to collect the data, in that case, having the time frame and very much limited resources, we go for sampling in case of research analysis. So, sampling and sampling technique is the base or foundation of the inferential statistics of statistical analytical tool used in case of research methodology. It is quite useful for this paper or this task, that is to be proficient in research that you have to do in due course of your life. Thank you. Thanks again, students, with the hope that you will not forget to go through this video lecture and prepare yourself for coming examination that is quite near, or especially in this period of lockdown where there is a special situation. Always go through these lectures and try to consult as much resources as possible in different method of learning to complete your syllabus. Thank you again.